Welcome to week 2 of our crash course in Ableton Live. It's me again, Ryan, taking you into week 2. I just want to cover a little bit from last week in regards to drums and stuff, and then we're going to expand on that and add some melodic elements to our composition this week. So in front of me I have the session that I kind of finished off at the end of last week, just with one of the drum beats that I'd sequenced. I chose the hip-hop beat to work on today. Now, throughout the day, I want to show you a few little tips and tricks. Again, going back to what I said last week, this is just a method that I've picked up, and this is what I'm going to pass on to you. But everyone is different, so your workflow might be less intuitive for you to do it this way. But as you learn the software more, you'll figure out that Ableton is basically a blank canvas. You can use it whatever way you like. And it's really good like that you can basically just program it and tell it what to do. So this is right here, our session from last week. We'll have a listen to what we got up to. And I've got a variation of it here. Turn that saturation down a bit. Sounds a bit better. And I added a third variation just for, variation. Go figure. So hopefully you guys have gone away over the week and programmed your own drum beats. So for the sake of this one, this is a bit of a slower hip-hoppy one, but the method for adding melodic elements to your drum tracks is exactly the same. Whatever kind of music you're writing, it doesn't matter. So on your left-hand side here, you have your menu with all your instruments. We're going to pick from the piano and keys. Again, you can pick whatever you like. So I'm going to pick piano to pad. It's a really nice kind of, good bass pad to work and build on top of. So like you can see, I literally just dragged and dropped into the session view over here. So you can drag and drop anything, and it will just keep adding channels like that. You don't need to create a new MIDI channel when dragging MIDI instruments in. And one thing to note is whenever you want to play an instrument, you need to record enable, and that is this button down here. So when you hit that, the channel is record enabled, which means that it's receiving MIDI information, and it will play that MIDI instrument back to you. Now there are multiple ways of putting the notes into each channel. So I have this MIDI keyboard here. And you can see that as I press it, it controls the channel. Another cool thing you can do is actually use your computer keyboard. So the A, D, G makes a nice chord like that. So you can just use your computer keyboard like you would a normal keyboard. So the A, S, D, F, G is your white keys, and W, E, T, Y, etc. is your black keys. And the last way you can input those notes is by double clicking like we did last week and just putting notes in like this. It's kind of a not silly way to do it, but it's much more musical to play the notes in yourself. Now if you're not necessarily musically inclined and you're not sure how to get yourself around a keyboard, that's okay. There are other few tips and tricks. So I'm just going to get straight into it and show you one way of putting some chords and notes in. So playing back that drum beat we had from last week, here we go. Now I'm playing these chords you're about to hear on this MIDI keyboard, but again, play around with playing some notes on your actual keyboard if you don't have a MIDI keyboard. So I might actually just quickly change that pad sound quickly, something a bit nicer, even though I said it was great. Glass piano is pretty cool. And also down the bottom here, you'll see as you drag the instrument in, this is actually the instrument down the bottom here. And these knobs control the parameters of the sound. So you can hear as I play notes, it changes. So you can kind of just fiddle with these until you get what the sound you're looking for. Yeah. I'm gonna have to Control Z because I lost my kit there. So let's try that again. Glass piano in there. Cool. Just gonna play something really basic in. Now, I didn't play that very well, but not to worry because we can go in and edit all of those notes that I just played. So I used my keyboard, like I said, to put those notes in, but if you double click on the clip here, you'll see all those notes I just played. Now there are a few dud notes, a few off notes, so what we can do is we can just, like we did last week, this piano roll, these notes all correlate to the notes I played in. So I can just highlight any dud notes on the piano roll here and just delete them. There also is another thing, if you hit Command A, that selects all the notes available to you, and if you right click, there's a function called quantize. Now, quantize basically takes the notes that you've inputted and it drags them and stretches them so that they are in time, perfectly in time. Whereas if you maybe played a note too early or a note too late, the computer will quantize it and it will put that note into the place that it was supposed to be. Now, the computer's not always right, and depending on what quantize settings you have, depends on where it's going to stretch that note out to. So for the sake of this, I'm going to set it as 16 bars, but the quantize settings in here, so quantize to 16 notes, that's fine. So let's see what happens if I quantize it. Quantize settings, let's try. Oh no, that should be alright. So not much happened, which means my playing must have been alright, but I can see those aren't perfectly in time there, so I'm not sure. Oh no. So you can see that the computer has actually gone in and quantized the notes to start exactly on the grid. And you can see the starting notes here are all perfectly aligned to the grid, which is a good thing. Awesome, so let's play that back again. See, there's a dud note there, so I'm going to delete that. And also this chord here, this second chord, that cuts out a little earlier than I'd like. So you can just highlight any notes on the piano roll. You can highlight them all and you can stretch them as long as you'd like or as short as you like that. So it's really easy to edit in Ableton the notes. So I'm going to stretch that out to the desired length. Bit better. Nice. Again, that one's a little short, so I might drag that out a tad. I like that chord. That's a horrible chord there, so let's quite simply copy and paste chords across. So I'm going to delete that chord and put that one there instead. So this is like kind of any other computer software. You can copy and paste elements and edit very easily on the piano roll here. So I just played those chords in with my keyboard. They show up straight away here, and then you can just edit them as you'd like. So that is one method of inputting notes. I'm going to show you just for the fun of it how to input them on the keyboard. Obviously it's a bit harder and you can only got one octave to play with. But let's give it a go. Bit harder. And again, if you're using that method, you can go in and edit all the notes to be the lengths that you want if you didn't play it perfectly. I'm not going to use that one because I didn't play it as well. Also, you can rename your clips as you go along. If you hit Command R, you can rename them to whatever you want, so you can remember what each clip is. So for that, I'm going to call it chords. Easy. And as you hit that clip, it's going to play back. So I'm pretty happy with that. And we're going to go ahead and drag another element on top of that. I'm going to pick another sound that I like. I was playing around before and I like this bright tine sound. So I'm going to drag that in there. Cool. So when you want to record your next clip in, you simply hit one of these record buttons, Now these will only show up on the channel that it is record enabled. So, and if you want to record enable multiple channels, you can hit Command and you can select them like that. But for the sake of this, we just want the one. So I've added some chords. I want to add like a little lead sound, something a bit plinky over the top. Now there's these things here I just want to mention. These are called sends and returns. And very typical effects in music is reverb and delay. Reverb and delay are found in 99% of music made these days. Even if it might be subtly, it always seems to be there at the moment. So these sends send the sound from each channel over to the right here. And what we have here are called send and return tracks. So these are the return tracks. So when I twist this knob here, that sends the sound from this channel, the glass piano chord sound, and it's going to send it to a delay or a verb over here. Now reverb, you can hear straight away the difference. Turn that off. We're going to try the delay. And if you look to your right over here, you can see there's a signal coming into this channel, which means obviously it's receiving audio and playing it back. So choose your desired amount if you want to use reverb or effects. There are also other ways that I will show you in future episodes where you can go into audio effects and you can just drag and drop effects straight onto these sounds. But again, for the sake of this week, I just want to show you the basic of how to layer up a song and add different melodic elements. So again, going back to what we had, I want to play in a little progression. Let's have a go. Bear with me. When I'm ready to record, I'm going to hit that record button and it will start recording on the beat. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try that again. I've hit a few dub notes. Sounded alright. Listen to that back. And again, I'm just going to put a little bit of delay and verb on there to kind of bring it all together. Try a different variation. Straight away we have something that sounds kind of like a song. Awesome. Sounding really good. I'm happy with that so far. So as you make different variation of these chord progressions and things, you can kind of see how you're going to slowly build up a song pretty easy. So if we hit this play button over to the right hand side, each line of clips has its own play button. So if I hit 1, it's going to play all the clips that are in the first line. If I hit 2, it's only going to play the clips that are in the second one. So I don't have any chords or lead in there. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the chords down. I'm going to copy those across. Might make a bit of I'll make a variation on the first set of chords, and I'm just going to delete and drag this all the way so it's just a 1-bar loop like that. Maybe I'll drag it out a bit longer. Command A to highlight everything. Cool. So if I hit 1 again, it's just going to play variation 1 of the drums. Kind of sounds like an intro of the song. If I hit 2, it's going to play that second variation of the drum plus the 2-bar chord loop I just made. Something weird going on there. Let's just... And if I hit 3, it's going to play variation 3 of the drums, the full set of chords, and that little lead line. Those little notes I played in. Kind of a strange ending, so I'm going to delete that. If you want to just listen to that 1 bar, you can put your cursor to the top of the loop, you get a little speaker button, and it will play it from wherever that speaker is. So I think that gives you a fairly good idea of how easy and how quick it can be in Ableton to make an idea out of nothing, essentially. So I want you to go away this week, and I want to take what I've shown you. Sorry. So just dragging and dropping a sound from the instruments on the left here. Any sound will do, but I suggest you start with maybe some chords or something to build on top of. A bed, so to speak. So any of the piano or keys, any of the pad sounds in here are a good place to start. Any of those. So drag the one that you like into here. Make sure you record enable that channel so that the MIDI information from your keyboard or external MIDI keyboard or whatever method you decide to use, make sure it's record enabled so that channel knows to play back. If you want to record enable multiple channels, hit command and you can select as many as you like. So try adding at least a layer of chords, and if you feel ambitious, adding a 3rd layer or 4th layer of other elements if you like. That's all I'm going to show you for today. We'll go into next week and we'll add a few other elements, and then I'll begin showing you how to mix each individual element and all the different processes that Ableton has for you to do that. So I hope you all have a very productive and fun week on Ableton, and I'll see you next week for week 3. Enjoy, guys.